Sup, Mike?
Hey, man, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic.
Doing fantastic. Yeah, I'm too. I'm kind of excited. You know, I mean, of course, we decided this is going to be, hey, Brian, thank you for joining. We decided to, you know, call this our fourth season, you know, season 4, because we changed our name to what?
We changed our name to Speaking Nerdy Podcast.
That's going to take a while.
Speaking Nerdy Podcast.
Yes. So yes, but you know, you know, before we get started with everything, you know, I'm really proud of, you know, I ended up buying a pet.
You bought a pet.
Bought a pet. Yeah. Hey, Daryl McCarty. Yeah. And so I bought a pet, and, you know, how I wanted to train this pet, you know, so I'm real excited about it. I'm going to show you some tricks here. We've been working on it like all week. So, let me show you.
You're going to show me your pet's tricks?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's one particular trick. I couldn't get him to do other things, but this is the one we panned out. This is a trick I showed him. It's brilliant. Here we go. Look at that. He's like, look at that. He's just, I mean,
he's got good aim.
Yeah. Yes.
Aren't you a part of a homeowners association?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Do they not have a problem with a monkey? An ape?
You know, I thought about that. I think they're really, this is the thing, you know, I worked really hard with my monkey, and, you know, and so it took me, I don't know, 8 times showing him how to do it. And so I think that's what the homeowners association had a problem with. But, you know, you got to show the monkey how to do it, so the monkey knows how to do it. I mean, you got to, so that's pretty much it, you know, sling, you know. So anyway, yeah, that's it. That's the.
I think we should start.
I can show you right now how I taught him how to do this. So
no, I'm starting the show right now.
You take the.
It's the something about. Oh man, it's the Speaking Nerdy Podcast with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
And this is Mike Schilling and my friend Ricky Pope, who can't say the name of our new show. Yes, so. Yeah, it's going to be a while, so that's okay.
It's going to take me a while.
It's all right.
I will get it.
It's all good. Don't worry about it. Oh, man. So, there is so much stuff going on. You know,
I know.
I couldn't think about a topic for the show because there was so much stuff happening this past 2 weeks. I mean, everywhere really from between DC, Marvel, Star Wars. I mean, if there's any nerd franchise out there, I mean, we've had a lot of news these past 2 weeks, and it's just, I think, by coincidence that it's been going on. So, yeah. So, but anyhow, how are you doing, Mr. Ricky Pope?
I am doing fantastic. I'm doing very, very well. I slogged through M.O.D.O.K this week.
I want to hear your review on that. I saw about 3 or 4 episodes of it, and let's just say I had a hard time pushing through, at least. Yeah. Anyway, we'll leave it there.
Tell you what, I was going to say, let's leave it right there. And here later on in the show, we will do. Yeah. I will do my spoilerless review. I will I will try to be as spoiler free as possible.
That's right.
In case you are excited about M.O.D.O.K.
Yes, right. That's right. We don't want to take away the love. If you're looking forward to it. I think we got a lot we're going to talk about tonight, so we might just get into some stupid news and just
shall we?
Let's go ahead and do that.
It's the weird and stupid news with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
Yeah, we might want to play with that audio. I think the audio was a little bit too high.
The music was a little too loud.
I couldn't hear you that much, and then I think, but hey. You know,
we're getting things settled and fixed.
That's right. You think we would have gotten things settled and fixed 3 years ago, but hey, you know,
We've only been doing this show for 3 years.
And that's it. That's it. It takes time, people. It takes time. Well, I know you've seen how families, they celebrate, having a baby, and, usually and they'll do a reveal. Like sometimes they'll say, hey, it's going to be a boy. And they'll have like blue balloons, and they'll have pink balloons for a girl and all that good stuff. Well, apparently, I think, nowadays it seems like that people are becoming a little more inventive, a little more, I don't know, putting a little more gusto in their announcements. Apparently, there was a gender reveal party, and it prompted a huge explosion in the neighborhood. That was kind of, people thought it was an
explosion, like everybody was excited.
Well, let's put it this way: the expectant family from Kingston, it's a town not far from Massachusetts border. It's up in New Hampshire. Apparently, they set off such a blast. I mean, I'm talking about a dynamite blast that it could be heard across the state line,
like an actual explosion.
Yeah, like an actual explosion. Yeah.
Now that is an earth-shattering birth right there.
There you go. So apparently the Kingston police responded to reports of a loud explosion Tuesday evening, and they found people were holding a gender reveal party in the Toronto quarry. So they went down in a quarry thinking that would be a great place to have it, where they found the explosives.
They found the explosives in the quarry.
Yeah, because that's where they were actually using it. That's where they were. Because
that's safe.
They thought it was safe, So, I mean, I saw the Flintstones. I see where Fred Flintstone used to work, down in the. Yeah. So one of the residents said, we heard this god awful blast, and
Todd Vesey says there's nothing better than a MythBusters level reveal. Yes,
exactly. That's basically what it was. She said it knocked the pictures off the wall, and she said, "I'm, the lady said, I'm all for silliness, but this is extreme." Another person said it was earth shaking, and the other one said it. And other neighbors said it cracked my foundation.
Holy cow!
They said the source of the blast was 80 pounds of tannerite. You know tannerite?
I'm vaguely familiar with it.
Yes, it's an explosive that's usually sold over the counter as a target for firearms practice.
Yeah. It's the kind of stuff you used to see on the Duck Dynasty guys. They would blow stuff up. They would shoot at something and blow stuff up. Yeah.
But we're talking about 80 pounds, though. I think it's
that's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot of ingredients in the recipe. So explosive. Apparently. Police said that the family through the curry, would be the safest spot. They thought it would be the safest spot. Now, luckily, there's no injuries, and right now the police are deciding what they're going to do with these people. But anyway, just know if you're going to do a reveal for your child, make sure you do your explosions like in the front yard. No, I don't mean that. I mean do it. Don't do it at all. That's what I meant to say.
Just don't.
Just don't do it. It's not worth it. This is something I thought was funny. A lot of people are trying to get healthier. They're trying to quit smoking.
Yeah.
This man had a kind of a unique way of doing it.
Okay.
A man of Turkish nationality is desperate to quit smoking. He said he cannot avoid his addiction to tobacco. Proof of this, that he's consumed 2 packs of cigarettes a day in the last 26 years. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, I know.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So he started, wearing a cage as a helmet is your last resort for this guy.
Wearing a cage as a helmet.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my.
Yes. He.
Oh my.
So, he's confessed as having to try different methods to get rid of his dangerous habit after his father, according to the portal, actually died from lung cancer. So he decided to take things serious. I'd say
that's taking it serious.
Now every morning he goes to work with the cage on and leaves the keys with his wife and eldest daughter. The device does not prevent him from seeing, reading, or drinking water through a straw, according to the video recorded by a local television station. Initially, his family found him strange in appearance, but later they realized that in his case, it was only a way. It was his only way to a healthy life.
Okay, well, that is special.
That's there you go.
That is funny. Now I'm just thinking, if you could fit a straw in there,
you think you fit a cigarette?
I'm thinking he could fit a cigarette in there if he really wanted.
Exactly.
If he really tried.
Or a Slim Jim. I don't know if Slim Jim is that. I don't know if he could be able to take a bite into a Slim Jim or not. And for my last one,
go ahead. You said Slim Jim, and I was not thinking of a meat product that you eat.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking of the thing you slide down the side of a car window to pop the lock.
Oh.
So you were like, I don't know if he could get a Slim Jim in there. I was like, well, yeah, he got a Slim Jim in there, pop the lock, and then he can do whatever he wants and reset it before his kids get home.
Yeah, I was talking about biting into a Slim Jim, you know. That's what I was kind of getting at. And for my last one, and of course, I always save the best for last. According to the scanner, well, apparently it seems there was a man who was stirring up poop at a bar, and when I mean that he was
stirring up poop.
That was a nice way of saying it. Apparently, well, I mean he had to remove his colonoscopy bag, and he was flinging it literally.
Yeah. Oh no! No.
Yeah.
No.
He was at a Kid Rock's concert, and apparently he got upset. According to the scanner traffic of the police, this was the third time police had been in contact with the man that night. He has previously refused medical attention both times, and then when the police encountered the man, he removed his bag and began flinging poo on the responding officers. I hear the podcast wife. Oh, not good at all. Now, first of all, I guess to clarify, they had no indication if the man was actually inside the bar or on the street. So he was either in the front or he was in the back. But you can imagine, being out for the night, a party, and then literally feces start raining down on you. That's
so wrong.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. The poo flinging man was eventually arrested.
Imagine that.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers for the poor officers who had to transport him. And at least one officer was temporarily out of service after having to run home to make a wardrobe change.
Yes. He was wearing the brown pants at that point.
Yes, exactly. So, so you didn't think anything would be worse than a woo girls downtown, but the pool guys, he's definitely, he takes the cake on that one. But looks like Nashville is finally getting back to normal, so that's good. Anyway, that's stupid news.
This has been the Weird and Stupid News with your host, Mr. Mike Silly.
You always gotta end it with a poo, leave them with more. That's what I always say.
We started with a poo, we ended with a poo.
I mean, well, you know where this show is going. We just hit the fan, but anyhow.
Since there's been so many turds, shall we talk about M.O.D.O.K?
Let's do that.
There's your transition right there.
Man, that's a slide right there. Yeah.
Daryl McCarty says, my teenage daughter and I watched it and enjoyed it. Daryl, I am so glad you enjoyed it. So here is my quick spoilerless review, or at least my attempt to be spoilerless. I thought it was okay. I don't think it was spectacular.
Yeah.
I thought Patton Oswalt was really great. He was funny.
Yeah, I like Patton
Oswalt. Patton Oswalt does a great job anything he does. The idea that M.O.D.O.K is an insecure, mad scientist is kind of humorous. It's an interesting idea.
I like the concept.
I liked the concept, and I thought it worked okay. I think that my biggest concerns. Let me say this: critics gave it a pretty decent review. Rotten Tomatoes, the critics' review is around 88, which is pretty high for a critics review.
Yeah, for critics,
the
definitely.
audience review is only 66.
Yeah.
So that gives me, so I'm curious how that came about. I wonder how much of that was people that aren't really Marvel fans tried to watch it to see what it was, or people that were really huge Marvel fans thinking it was going to be Marvel-ish, but it really wasn't. So let me give you some of the high points. Some of the good things. It was fun to kind of see some of the more fringe heroes and villains show up on screen, even if they were robot chicken claymation animation style. We saw there were some surprise villains that popped up. One person that pops up later on in the show, and this one is a little bit of a spoiler, but not too much. One of my kids' friends said it felt like Robot Chicken skit that went on too long.
I think he's right. Yes.
Yeah,
exactly. I kept waiting. Yeah, go ahead.
And it actually, the producers of Robot Chicken were highly involved. They were the same producers for the show. So that's part of the reason you get that feel. Some of the good things, like I said, you got to see some heroes and villains you don't usually see on screen. Got to see Wonder Man. He's actually one of my favorite heroes. That was kind of fun. We see a villain, an X-Men villain of all things. We get to see Arcade show up as a villain in the show, and that was kind of fun. We actually get to see Arcade and his murder world at one point, which is a huge X-Men thing. And now that Marvel owns all those properties, they can get away with that. Now, one of the things that makes this a little weird is this was actually Marvel TV versus Marvel Studios. And kind of the quick explanation, at one time Marvel Studios was all films, and Marvel TV was anything that wasn't a film. And then just under 2 years ago, they combined everything under one umbrella, so it's all under Feige and it's all under Marvel Studios. And this was the last thing that was greenlit as Marvel TV before Marvel TV was under the umbrella of Marvel Studios.
Oh, really?
So that makes it a little bit weird. So it had a little bit different kind of contract. So they were able to get away with things. As I said, it was part of the Robot Chicken thing. I think part of the issue was, I think as far as the Robot Chicken part, it wasn't silly enough.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It was silly at times. But it took itself too seriously most of the time. The other thing was, it had about, each episode kind of had its own little story, but then they tried to make, these big story arcs. It was 10 episodes. It is bingeable, so I'm sure Jason, if you're out there watching, you'll be happy that you could binge the whole thing. All 10 episodes released on the same day. And but it had like 3 major story arcs, and one story arc, and you'll catch all of this right up front in the first episode. Well, most of it. There's a time travel story arc. There is a divorce story arc, which is in the trailers, so you guys know about that. There is a I'm losing my company. M.O.D.O.K is losing his company story arc. Well, all of those story arcs are pretty much paid off by episode 9. And then episode 10 has to happen. And episode 10 basically wipes away one of the closures that you just had and decides to make it a cliffhanger for next season. Was a big problem with that.
I think
go ahead.
No, I was just saying, for someone who just probably saw 4 episodes, because I was going to, when you talked about seeing the whole thing, I'm thinking, okay, I can't push through and watch it all before the show starts. But my expectations was silly, and this was not the silliness that I wanted. I didn't want, it took itself too serious in areas. Honestly, I would have liked it to have been more like, like the family, like kind of like, you know, if Peter Griffin was a mad scientist villain, you know, and, you know, he goes back and forth with his family, and his family, you know, it's just his family. It's not, you know, we're not going to get serious.
It's the silly with almost no repercussions.
Exactly.
That's what I was expecting.
That's what I was expecting.
And that's not what we get. Yeah. We get silly with really, really creepy, weird ramifications at times.
Well, I mean, it almost gets to a social content on some stuff. I mean, just stuff like, I don't care about divorce. I don't. This is supposed to be, you know, I was looking more for like a Dr. Evil, you know, from Austin Powers, that kind of thing.
And it's not. This is no, it's not. This is a insecure super scientist, super villain, and we get to see him slowly become slightly better, but he's still a supervillain. Now, here's the other problem I had with the show. This is probably my biggest problem with the show. In the trailer, they sell this idea, and it's a clip that actually comes in the first episode. You see M.O.D.O.K slide into this elevator. You see him go down this tube, and he shows up at his house.
And this was in the trailer, so
this was in the trailer. So it was in the trailer and in the first episode.
Spoiler free, people.
So that I would not call that a spoiler because it's in the trailer.
I mean, spoiler free.
Yeah,
free.
Yeah, free.
Not a free spoiler. No. Anyway, let's stop. We can go ahead.
So two of his minions say, "Where does he go at night?" Okay, so I had this idea going into the show that this was going to be looking at the dual life of M.O.D.O.K.
Yeah.
We were going to see him at the office, the evil villain office, you know, the offices of AIM. That's not really a spoiler because that's just, that's old school comic lore that M.O.D.O.K runs AIM, this evil corporation. We were going to see him have to try to hide the fact from AIM that he had a family, and hide the fact that he was a supervillain from his family, which I think could have been fun, and that could have been the silly with no ramifications thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what they sold us on. They sold us on this idea of he's living a dual life, and neither the two shall blend. But then they go and just ignore that whole idea. And, you know, the wife shows up at the office. She knows he's a supervillain. You know, she knows he's a supervillain, and she doesn't have a problem with it. Everybody at the office, Daryl McCarty says, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, everybody at the office knows he has a family. They know everybody in the world knows who she is.
Yeah.
Knows they're married. It just...
It didn't work for me there. You
gave us a premise that sounded really fun, and then you decided, nah, we're just going to ignore that premise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
that is my take on it. And I mean, it's worth watching once. I'm probably never going to rewatch. This is not something I'm going to rewatch. You know, Falcon and Winter Soldier, I'm probably going to rewatch that more than once. Yeah. You know, more than twice. But I'm not going to rewatch M.O.D.O.K.
Yeah.
Another big issue is it has not been greenlit for a second season, and they left us with a cliffhanger.
Yeah, that's odd, isn't it?
That's really odd. Yes. When you don't know if you've got a second season and you decide, hey, let's just leave it as a cliffhanger and see what happens.
I think if it had a real robot chicken, I mean, like the show where it had like, for me, more like the Family Guy kind of deal, because I can watch that over and over again.
Every episode is standalone. Every episode is what it is, and
because
you just have fun with it.
There's some like the Bad Batch, which should have a story arc to it. You know, it should. Yes. You know, there's some stories that should have an arc, but then something like this, supposed to be silly animation, that's supposed to be like fun. They should be a show have no story arc involved. I mean, you can always go back and make you can make reference of something that happened before, but kind of in a funny, you know, flashback kind of way.
Right.
But in something like this, I would just have fun with it and don't don't make it messy with a bunch of social stuff. Just have fun with it.
Yeah, I think that would have been better. Yeah. I think that would have been better. I think more people would enjoy it that way. I think that's what people were expecting.
Yeah.
They weren't expecting you to try to create a robot chicken Marvel universe, which I feel like is what they're trying to do.
Yes.
And I don't think it's going to happen. Todd BC, Forrest Gump, and that's all I've got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that.
Well,
exactly.
I was thinking about this review, my ending thought was going to be, I watched this so that you don't have to.
And I told Ricky that'd be a great segment to do on the show. I watch this so you don't have to watch it. So that's
exactly. But that's it.
No, it's good. I think you hit it right on the nail. Again, I agree. I'm gonna probably watch the whole thing just because I started it, but I wasn't going to binge it just before the show. I thought, okay, Ricky, you go ahead and talk about it. I will listen.
It is a bit of a slog. It is a bit of a slog. There are some fun bits.
Speaking of when I was talking about the Bad Batch, this is exciting news for a Star Wars fan. Dave Filoni is named Executive Creative Director of Lucasfilms. That about time. It's about time.
Yes.
I mean, this guy, I think he saved Disney. I mean, Star Wars.
I agree. Yeah. I think Dave Filoni is definitely the guy. He's steeped in the lore. He knows his stuff and he cares about it. You know, he's the kind of guy that if George Lucas shows up in a room, he's like,
exactly.
You know,
well, yeah.
He gets excited about the fact that he gets to work on Star Wars every day.
He was handpicked by George Lucas.
Yes.
And what's funny, I didn't realize this. I was kind of looking, and he got his start from King of the Hill. And of course he was on Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
And again, he was picked by George Lucas to do the development of the Clone Wars. And it's really funny. I just seeing that. The only thing about this, and again, if someone disagrees with me, but even though he's the leader apparently he still has to report to Kathleen Kennedy, and I don't like that. I want him to call the shots. Let's just say I'm not a big fan of Kathleen Kennedy. I don't believe she understands the Star Wars universe. That's all I'm going to say. No, I'm probably going to say a whole lot later on. But anyway, but Dave Filoni with Jon Favreau, I think those two guys, if they head up the studio and everything goes through them, I think you're going to see success. Okay, woo. Back to
get us kicked off the air in a minute.
Oh yeah. So so that's the only part I didn't. She's the devil. Thank you very much. So
be careful with that. Facebook will ban you.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Facebook is pretty wound up right now, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know.
You say things like that. I get people that in my groups right now that they get 7-day bans all the time for saying stuff like that.
Yeah. We love everybody at speaking nerdy. Not something about something.
Your dog doesn't like somebody.
I know. I think he's
Manny's
out there.
podcast dog is all about somebody right now.
He is. He's not very happy, and the podcast wife is going out there, and oh my goodness, she's chasing him. Oh man, I think it's because my monkey sling poo at the dog. I think that's what it is. You think?
Probably.
Oh well, hold on a minute. Let's. Oh, there it goes. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Ooh, okay. I think they're done. Okay, good. So back to the show. Man, that was crazy. So, I'm totally psyched that Dave Filoni is that he deserves it, and I'm excited about that.
I'm super excited about that. I think that is the best move that Star Wars has made in a long time.
One thing I'm really, of course, in the Star Wars universe, a thing that I'm very disappointed of, and we talked about this early, they're not doing anything on Star Wars Rangers of the New Republic. And they've just decided not to go for it. And, we're not dumb. We, Star Wars fans, we all know what's, going on and I think the biggest thing was Cara Dunn, who was played by Gina Carano.
Carano, yeah.
And of course, we know that she apparently had a disagreement, and they let her go. That's all I'm going to say about it. And so go ahead.
So if I read this right,
yeah,
the quote is that it is what did they say? They said it in a weird way.
Yeah, it was very.
Let's see. I read the.
Well, it's from Variety, so they were saying that
is not currently in active development. So that doesn't mean
it's gone.
Gone, but it doesn't mean it's going to ever happen either.
Now I was thinking. Now there was, when Carino was let go, there was some rumors that they would bring in, and I'm going to maybe Daryl can help me on this, but from the character from the Rebels, was Sandula. I think it was Sandula. She was alien with the long, yeah, and they thought, well, maybe they can cast her in doing it, which I think it would have been a good play. I think it would have been a good job for that. But apparently, I think they just
and when that whole thing came up with Gina Carano, wasn't the story that they were passing off from Star Wars? Weren't they saying she wasn't really supposed to be the lead character of that show anyway?
Yeah, but that's
what they were saying.
Yeah, but we all know, and that's one. Well, Jon Favreau. I mean, he fought for some reason. I mean, he fought hard. So I not only for the Mandalorian, because I know that she still had a part, but it was all set up for that. At the very end, she was given that Marshall token or whatever that was, and it was going to spin off from there, but. I don't know.
I think it definitely was supposed to.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the way things go sometimes. You never know what they're going to do.
She was the captain of the Ghost. That's right. Yeah. I just couldn't think of it. Sandela. Anyway, but yeah, she was a good character. Hera. Thank you. It was Hera. Sandela. And so anyway, yeah, that would have been great to find an actress who would, do a live character of her. And I think she would have fit the role just fine. So that, and of course it may fall on the deal where she's supposed to be finding with Ezra Bridgers, which is supposed to be actually her and Ahsoka. Not actually her and Ahsoka. It was actually Ahsoka and the Mandalorian lady from the Rebels. Anyway, I'm going too far in a different direction. But yeah, it was. Anyway, I'm disappointed because I really like the concept. It had this Wild West of Star Wars that could have happened, and I really like that. So anyway, I do like the guy who played. He was. He had the armor of Boba Fett. Sabine, yes, thank you. Daryl McCarty, Sabine. But. What was the first season?
The actual sheriff in town.
Yeah, sheriff in town.
He would have made a good marshal to bring back.
Yeah, he played in Justified, and he was a bounty hunter in that, or he was a marshal in that. So that would have been a great spin-off there. But anyway, I'm getting away from the actual topic. So
yeah.
But so man, we got some stuff from DC too, which there's a lot going on.
There really is a lot going on.
Actually,
right
no.
now.
Have you heard about this? Henry Cavill is in talks for Highlander remake. What do you think about that? And anybody out there has some comments about what do you think? Do you think Henry Cavill should, do the Highlander remake? Do you think he fits the part or not? Let us chime in. Let us know.
My first thought is, I'm not a big fan of reboots.
Yeah, I'm not either.
My second thought is, it's been so long since we had anything that was good from Highlander. Yeah. Maybe there's a shot.
Yeah, Well, there'll be a whole new generation that wouldn't even know anything about it. So
exactly. And I think if they went back to the original lore, the first lore,
apparently Daryl McCarty is excited about it.
He just
gave us a yes. So that's
I think Henry Cavill would be a great fit.
I think
number one.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I think if they go back to the very first, the first Highlander, and they use that premise, stay away from the weird aliens thing that they tried to do in 2 and 3. Stick with the original thoughts that these are just people that they just are. It's a mystical thing.
Well, how are they going to bring Sean Connery back? That's what I want to know. Are they going to do the same thing they do with Star Wars? Just kind of they're going to bring him back.
They'll just paste his face over the top of somebody else.
Okay, that's good. So
I don't know who would play that character if they do a full-on reboot.
Daryl McCarty says his work with The Witcher will help. He he's no longer typecast anymore as far as Superman. He has a lot of talent, and so
he does really well. Have you seen? There's a this is kind of off topic, but there is a there's a Sherlock Holmes show.
Yes, he's
with a girl as kind of the Sherlock Holmes stand-in.
Yeah, exactly.
And he plays Sherlock Holmes in that show. He's not on a lot, but it's kind of fun to watch him play something completely different.
Well, the young lady who plays his sister, the younger sister, is actually the same girl. Well, she plays in Stranger Things.
Yes, she's 11 from Stranger Things. It's a fun little show, little movie. My family really enjoyed it. Enola Holmes, thank you. That's why I couldn't remember what the name was.
Thank you, Mr. Todd V.
I really enjoyed it. So this is a random thing here, Mike.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
So our system is telling us only one person is watching.
This is weird.
But there's no way that's accurate because multiple people are commenting.
Yes, I've been watching the whole time. I keep looking up at it and I'm going, okay, I don't know whether to feel disappointed, feel hurt, or...
I think it's just not accurate.
Yes, I hope so. I hope that we actually have several hundred people like we normally do.
If you're watching right now, put a comment put some kind of comment down below. I just want to see how many comments we get.
Yeah, this is really strange. Yes,
it's so weird.
So it is weird. What about Duncan? I am at the main base here in OKC. I'm not in the. Jerry Dunn.
Hey, Jerry.
Hey, and so I'm not in Duncan this week. Apparently, they didn't need me in the Southern Command. Jerry Don, what's up? Hey, how you doing, my friend?
There are at least 4 or 5 people watching.
Hey, I love that. Hey, that's awesome.
The system is just not telling us. Yeah, our system is telling us one person is watching. It's not accurate.
Todd C says Enola Holmes has been green lit for season 2, so that's awesome.
There is going to be a season 2. So, it's a pretty good show if you're into that kind of a younger version of Sherlock Holmes. It's a really fun show. My girls really love it.
I'm a big fan of the the Batman animated series.
Yes.
And apparently they're doing they're bringing back Bruce Timm, who was behind the animated series. Is going to return to do basically a Batman Cape Crusader, and it's going to be more of a noir type of feel to it.
Now, is it going to be a movie or a series?
No, it's going to be a series. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a movie. It's an animation series, and it's the same people right here which is pretty awesome. J.J. Abrams, Matt Reeves, Bruce Timms. They're basically working together, a joint project on this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we got Matt Reeves from the current Batman movie that's about to come out.
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams, who's just done everything. And then Bruce Timms was on the original Batman the Animated Series. Yeah, correct?
And I think mainly Bruce Timm is going to do it, but I think they may throw some ideas. But there was an announcement they did together, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
And I do like that look because that's like the early 1930s Batman type of look, which is pretty cool. And I like they're going to go with this kind of noir type of feel. I kind of like that.
There's going to be another Superman animated series too, correct?
There is. I'm not real excited about it. It's almost like a young Clark Kent, Jimmy Olsen, and it's kind of like, and I don't even like that. I was going to post up the animation, what it looked like, but I hated it so much I didn't. I just don't like the way it looked.
One of the executive producers is one of the producers of Teen Titans Go. So
okay, so there you go.
Any idea?
Type of animation.
Teen Titans Go, Invader Zim, and one of the newer Voltron shows.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be different. It's not gonna fall into that Batman the Caped Crusader look.
Yeah, which I love. So, but on top of that, on Batman 2, Patterson. I didn't say Patterson this time.
Hey, there you go.
Now, Hollywood Reporter, they were talking about how Patterson has signed a production deal with Warner Brothers, and it basically covers all platforms.
How many movies or how many projects?
Right now, they're not saying, but they say a wide range platforms from television to film to streaming services.
Interesting.
So, yeah, and apparently, he's Patterson is really excited about it, which is awesome. They're talking about the possibility of. Even if they don't continue the franchise, they've greenlit the Green Lantern, and there's possibilities that he may be Bruce Wayne. He makes some appearances.
Oh, so he could make appearances in other shows with this.
Now,
could be interesting.
Yeah. Now, he probably, and more likely, though, they'll do I would think they would do a sequel, if it goes really well, the Batman.
Now, one of the things was recently was the announcement that the Batman was going to be considered Earth 2. So does that mean that he would only show up in Earth 2 shows? Like maybe he would show up in the Gotham PD show?
Yeah, and that's exactly. I think that's what it is. I think it's only going to be like I would think like Gotham. I would think it would also be if the Lantern show is going to be in Earth 2, I don't know. But of course, with Lantern, it can be anything because it's
right. And from what I've read about the Lantern Corps show, it's going to cross like decades and decades of time.
Yeah. So I mean, you got a whole lot of stuff there now. March 4th, 2022 is when it comes out, so it's going to be a while. But hey, man, that's sounds pretty good to me.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to touch this real quick because this was something that Todd V sent me. Apparently, there's going to be a podcast on XM, Sirius XM radio. And of course, they're going to also have it later on Spotify and some other streaming platforms, podcast platforms. Wastelanders, the Old Man Star-Lord, and apparently it's kind of like it's going to be kind of reminds me of an old radio show where everybody has a script. And
so it's going to be a scripted show.
Yeah, it's going to be a scripted show.
I wondered what this was. I was like, wait, what is this? It's a podcast? I'm confused.
Yeah, it's going to be like a scripted show, kind of like an old, listen to the old radio shows back in the old days. So that's interesting. I think it's going to be Saturday, May. Yeah, so they're going to do a town hall again. If you hear Sirius Radio XM, but Saturday, May 22nd and Sunday, May 23rd. All the times are Eastern. Anyway, check it out, www.marvel.com/Wastelanders if you're interested in it. So I thought it was pretty cool. And
that is kind of cool.
So, I know I'm kind of running through some stuff, but I wanted to talk about that trailer of the Eternals.
The Eternals trailer.
And this is where I know we're going to have a lot of conversation about right here. So,
I'll do my best.
Okay. I was wondering now. First,
do I have to be nice?
You can be whatever you want. Listen, I watched the trailer, and please chime in out there. I saw the trailer, And for me, I came away feeling like they're wanting these people to be the next Avengers.
Yes.
Even at the end where, you know, it's a trailer, folks. So I'm not giving anything away.
It's a teaser even. It's not even considered a full trailer yet.
Yeah. They had somebody.
By the way, if you're out there watching, whoever's out there watching, go ahead, put in the comments, did you watch the trailer or the teaser, or did you not watch the teaser yet? This is for the Eternals.
Yeah, exactly. And so my thing is, at the very end, they were asking with this, I guess this young kid who was part of the Eternals, asking, okay, so now without, Tony Stark and Captain America, Todd Vesey says no.
He's not.
Vesey says no.
Jerry says he has.
Yes. Oh, the trailer. I thought they were.
Yeah, this is the trailer.
Okay.
Daryl says not yet, about to right now. No, you're going to wait till the show's over.
You're going to wait till the show's over. Don't you just, come on now.
Sorry, that was much funnier to me than it should have been.
Everybody's out there going, is he okay? So.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Don't worry about it. But no, at the end for me, where I was hearing, they're asking, okay, what's going to happen? Who's going to lead the Avengers since Steve Rogers and Tony Stark is gone? And one of the characters, I guess it was supposed to be a funny moment. He says, well, I will. And they all kind of look at him like, for sure, it's kind of a
and I was
thing.
Watching that, and I didn't quite catch who said I will. Was it Kit? Was it the guy who's going to technically be playing the Black Knight, or was it somebody else?
That's my deal. I can't figure out who's. Hold on, I
still don't know who's who yet. I haven't gotten them all in my head as to who's who.
Angela Jolie is playing Athena.
Okay,
Number one, you just said Angelina Jolie. Now, this what gets me. Okay, this is where I'm going to get on my soapbox. Marvel does such a great job bringing people who are not A characters that it's known out there,
yes,
George Clooney and that. Except the only person they did was Rodney Downey,
Robert Downey Jr. Which I questioned that.
Because it was
he had fallen from.
That's
grace.
what I mean. He was a comeback kid, so that brought him back. So in a way, he wasn't well known because he didn't do a whole lot. They
did have Scarlett Johansson, who now she legitimately was a superstar before she did, before she was Black Widow.
Okay, you got to help me. What did she do?
I don't know. I just know she is. Okay. She's done a lot of things, but
what's that? Well, that was afterwards. That was after Marv. She's talking about Chef. No, that was after that. Man, I'm getting all kinds of ugly looks over there from the podcast wife. I think she's going to take me off the hair. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, let's see. Okay, let me see if I can actually tell you, because IMDb is my favorite thing in the world.
Jerry Dunn is saying the problem with making them the new Avengers is that most people don't know who the Eternals are. I worry about the mass appeal.
See, I don't think they're going to. I agree. I don't think they're going to be the next Avengers.
No.
But I do think that Marvel is hopeful that they will be not a replacement for, but they will be that they will get the same love that Guardians of the Galaxy got.
That's not going to happen.
I just don't see it happening either.
Here we go again. I brought this up. Kamal Najando, I'm not going to say it. Oh, yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. That's Kingo. If you watch the trailer, there's a breakdown trailer with Kamal. I'm going to say Kamal, where they say that they see Captain America's shield in the background, but I hadn't found it yet. But they did a breakdown on YouTube where they're saying they kind of point to it, and it's like, okay, I'm not seeing it. But anyhow, and then they have Don Lee as help me out here, Mr. Pope.
Don Lee is Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh. Okay, yes. I'm just kind of doing.
Kamal, this is funny. Kamal Kingo.
Yeah,
as Kingo. Apparently, Kingo in the comics was some kind of Hollywood actor or something, but something like that, and apparently it looks more like he's going to be like a Bollywood
actor, yeah.
Which I think is weird. So we've got Gemma Chan as Cersei, and so the best I can understand, and this is kind of what I hope. I hope that this is not going to be a movie about 11 people.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there are literally 11 major characters in this movie. I hope it's going to be a movie about Cersei and the Black Knight.
Yeah, exactly.
And these other characters are kind of around.
Well, they have Selma Hayek, which is okay.
There's another. We've got a definite A-lister. Yeah. And we have, this is one of those strange, they decided to ginger shift because there was there were too many guys on the team. I'm okay with that. Neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who these characters are as a general rule, as far as Marvel fans go.
Yeah.
You've got to be an old school hardcore fan to even know who this team was. Daryl McCarty says, "Yeah, I'll watch it, but I'm not excited about it." I'm the same, Daryl.
I'm the same way.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm not excited about it. I am hopeful that it is better than I think it's going to be.
Same here. Here's another one. I just thought we'd go through the different cast. Richard Madden as Icarus. Kit Harington, which he played Jon Snow in Game of Thrones. He plays the Black Knight. That's kind of why I want to see a focus on the Black Knight.
See, that's why I'm saying Cersei in the comics. Cersei and the Black Knight have a love affair, and from the teaser, it looks like they're going to play that up.
Yes,
and I think if that's where the story is focused, then I think it could be a decent story.
Yeah.
I just if they try to make this a team up movie,
I don't
know if it's going to work well.
And I like Kit Harington, and I think he's a good actor. And he's not like an A actor, so I think he could fit in just right in there. It's kind of like Chris Pratt. I mean, he wasn't a big movie star. He did Parks and Rec. He was known for that, but that was kind of his movie debut on that deal. So, and here's another one here.
Leah McHugh as Sprite.
Yeah,
and that could be fun or not. It depends on how they play it. And then Barry Kogan as Druig. I believe that's the way you pronounce that. Druig.
And the very last one, just to get out of the way, but this is interesting. Brian Tyree. Brian Tyree Henry as
Fastos. And then Lauren Ridloff as Makare.
Which I guess they changed the gender.
Yeah, that's another gender switch.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, I don't have any problem with the gender switches on this.
We're not.
They're such unknown characters to the majority of the fans.
As long as it's not Natalie Portman playing Thor. Let's go back to that. As long as it's not Natalie Portman playing Thor.
I was trying really hard not to go there.
I couldn't wait to go there.
I do think that I don't think there's any problem with the gender switching on these because they're just so unknown characters to the vast majority of people.
Daryl McCarty says the only one excited about is the Black Knight. I agree.
Yeah, I agree, and that's one of my questions. At the end, somebody says, who can lead the Avengers, and they says, "Oh, I could." I don't remember who that was that says it. But if it's the Black Knight, that kind of makes sense because at times in the comic books, the Black Knight did lead the Avengers. He has been an Avenger in the past.
Jerry Dunn says they need to concentrate on a couple relationship to make it more relatable, or we'll have a Superman 3 situation.
Yeah, too many.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they need to focus on just a couple. And see, that's my thing is I think they're hoping this will be another Guardians of the Galaxy. Not funny like that necessarily, but I think they're hoping we can throw a whole team of people together really quick.
Okay.
And it'll work.
I mean,
but I think there's too many. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy is what in the first movie it's 5, 6 people.
Well, apparently, yeah,
not 11.
Yeah, not 11. What are they trying to do? They're trying to do Suicide Squad. Yeah, I don't.
And we know how that turned out.
Yes, or the one that's supposed to be coming out. What is it? Suicide? Which one? Suicide Squad versus the Suicide Squad. Which one is supposed to be coming out? I don't know.
The Suicide Squad is supposed to be coming out.
Okay,
and it has even more characters than the first movie.
Yeah, exactly.
And we know how the first movie went.
Yes,
with too many characters. Todd VC says, rumor has it Portman Thor dies in the first movie. At least that's the rumor I'm starting.
Yeah,
oh my
good.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Well, if not to get too far off track, but since you guys brought up the Thor thing, if they stick with the comics, and I don't know the whole story, but if they start with the comic idea, the thing is she has cancer. And when she picks up Thor's hammer, she suddenly doesn't have cancer. So as long as she's in Thor form, she's not dying of cancer.
What is she, Miss Deadpool?
But when she puts down the hammer, she goes back to her original self, who is dying of cancer. So actually, Todd, the idea that she dies at the end of the movie is not unreasonable. It could actually be a thing. I don't know how they will play that, but I will.
I like that thought.
We can go back to the Eternals though.
Yeah, no, that was a good point. One thing I wanted to mention is that apparently, I guess the film post introduced the Deviants. That's from what I'm reading from Variety.
Okay.
But what's interesting is, and I saw this in an article, and I thought this is interesting. Of course, so the Eternals, for centuries they had, they did not interfere with humans. They stayed away, and then all suddenly.
Okay, I want to stop you right there.
Okay, there we go.
Because in the trailer, the voiceover says, "We watched and guided, but we never interfered." Wait,
yeah, well, I don't understand.
Guided,
how can you interfere? Yeah, okay.
That is interference.
That is interfering. Yes. Maybe they just threw little nuggets out there. Where did that come from? Oh, a fortune cookie. Do not cross the street.
Oh,
so
I heard that, and I was like,
yeah, I saw that.
What?
In the trailer, yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
That bugged me. That was one of the things I did want to mention. That was like, wait, what? That doesn't even make sense.
Todd VC says, in the comic series, she does die and become Valkyrie, referring to... Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, hopefully when she becomes Valkyrie, she'll transform into somebody else. So that'd be awesome.
We already have a Valkyrie, so she can't become Valkyrie.
No, but let's make it happen where something happens to her, and then she, all of a sudden Valkyrie becomes, and she's gone. And anyway, that's what I'm going to try to write that story and send it into Marvel. But
okay, so going back to the Deviants and the Eternals.
But I wanted to kind of bring it back where, okay, so let's say they, they're not interfering, their whole idea is not, well, they guide. Okay, let's go back to guiding, but they don't get involved. They let history do its thing. They don't get involved in any type of events or conflicts on Earth, okay?
Right.
But if suddenly there's something so bad that they do get involved, they break their code. Now, I was reading somewhere, they're saying, okay, so is this villain supposed to be worse than Thanos? Because when Thanos snapped his fingers, half the population went away, and the Eternals thought, it happens. So what? Because it's supposed to be in the same universe.
Yeah, so what is the big thing what is the big bad that is so bad? And at the end of the trailer, it's who's going to lead the Avengers. Is that the thing that's so bad? That they have to get involved? I'm like, no. Even if that is a weak idea. So
I think it was more of I'm trying to think there was a little humor they were trying to put into it. I hope.
I'm sure. I'm sure. This is the other reason I think they're trying to make it a Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
The music of the trailer, of the teaser.
Yeah.
It's like the music of the teaser is like, okay, this is the kind of song you would expect to see in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then there's a joke at the end. Hey, this is going to be a funny movie. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And then you're going to watch it and it's not going to be either one of those two things.
Yeah.
It's not going to be nostalgic or funny.
Yeah. I mean, so if it's supposed to be in that same universe and canon within the same universe, which it's apparently supposed to be, so Thanos snapping his finger wasn't anything to be involved in, half the population. So
you're a little late. If that
what's going to be worse out there? I mean, I don't know. I don't know the comic books. I have not read it. I'm not familiar with the characters in depth. So, but what is so bad out there that they actually going to go, well, we're going to come down and help? I mean, do you know any backstories to the Eternals? Do you know anything about? Because I don't.
I really don't know a whole lot,
except
more
for the
than
Night,
we have
Black
discussed.
Knight. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and we've got the Deviants as kind of their big bad, but so we're going to introduce a big bad that nobody's really familiar with. They didn't show them in the teaser. The one ominous thing you see, this cloud, this kind of ominous cloud they're all staring up into, which I'm kind of like, oh, please tell me we're not going to have a cloud-based villain again, like we had with the Fantastic Four back in the day.
Exactly right.
I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming the Deviants are going to be the bad guys, but I don't know why that's important. Why did Earth suddenly become important to them all of a sudden?
Yeah, that's why I was wondering too. But I don't know. For me, it's like basically for me, it's it's kind of like what Daryl McCarty posted. I will watch it, but I'm not excited about it, and so so it's going to just be from there. But anyhow.
Yeah, I hope it's better than I hope it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Everybody is saying it's going to be the Deviants, that's going to be who the bad guys are. Okay. But nobody knows who the Deviants are, so that's a problem.
No.
Having a weak villain
Yeah.
and weak heroes, not weak. Technically, these are some of the strongest heroes ever in the MCU.
That nobody knows about.
They're near gods.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So you've got this problem of we have a bunch of heroes nobody knows, and we have a bunch of villains nobody knows.
Exactly.
And no one cares about them.
One of the things is this. I mean, the kind of whole concept of Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, first when I heard about it, I thought, how are they going to make that happen? You know, in the concept before they had the actors and all this stuff, because it was just an odd comic book to bring out. Hardly anybody knew about him unless you were really a comic book fan of Marvel. And so it was one of the most
even Marvel comic book fans are not super familiar with the Eternals.
So it's it was a big success with of course Guardians of the Galaxy.
They did a brilliant job.
But after I don't know, with the Eternals, I just don't see with Peter Gunn. I mean, he was behind Guardians of the Galaxy, so.
Yes.
I mean,
honestly, I think if Guardians had taken themselves as seriously as the Avengers movie or even the first Iron Man, if they had taken themselves as seriously as those two movies, I don't think it would have worked.
I don't think so.
It would have been a whole bunch of people nobody cared about.
I think it has a good balance.
Yes.
All of a sudden we're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. But anyway, it was a good balance. I liked it. So,
I mean, if they go funny and they go ridiculous, maybe they will become fan favorites.
I don't know.
I just don't think
from the trailer, it sounded like it was like almost like a doom and gloom DC movie at first. That dark feel. There wasn't anything light in it till the very end. And to me, that didn't really do a whole lot. They just paid homage to the Avengers. So I don't know. Anyway, that's all I got to say about it.
I don't know that I have anything else.
Yeah, I don't either. I know that.
I hope it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I love Marvel, and I want to see success. You know, I want good content, so I'm hoping that it's
And what's the date on it? It's like a November release, right?
Yeah, I think it is. I had the info in front of me here. Let's see.
November 5th. I found it. November 5th.
Yeah.
And so here's hoping it's going to be.
Yeah, you and me both.
Good.
So next, let's see here. We'll be back on June the 2nd, which is next week.
Yep.
Which
so
is
next
nights.
Wednesday we will have a show, and then we're gonna take 2 weeks off after that.
Yeah. Yes, we're gonna take 2 weeks after that, and then we'll be back on the 23rd, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
The 23rd or is it the 19th?
Well, now you're confusing me here. Okay, it's here. Let's see.
I don't
here.
remember. You're
think
probably right.
No, I'm not right. You know, it would take.
No, the 23rd. You're right.
23rd. Oh, I'm right.
So
that's awesome.
So we'll be here next week, the 2nd,
yes.
and then we're gone for 2 weeks. Then we'll be back on the 23rd.
So anyway, yes.
Yep.
So.
And by then, Black Widow will have been out.
Ooh.
So the big question is, and let us know in the comments. I want to know.
Yeah.
Are you going to go watch it in theaters, or are you going to pay $29.95 to Disney Plus to watch it at home? What are you going to do, Mike?
$25.95. I'm going to do that.
I will probably pony up the money for this one. I have not bought any of the Disney Disney stuff yet. I've not done any of the extra pay Disney stuff.
Yeah.
This one I probably will, mostly for the show.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
What is everybody saying? Todd Beasy says at home. What does Daryl McCarty say? Daryl McCarty says he'll fill in for us.
Hey, that's awesome. You probably get more people at home. Jerry Dunn says
he'll do it at home.
At home, yes. And Daryl, what are you going to do? You're going to go to the theaters and watch it, or you're going to watch it from home, Mr. McCarty? I'll get it because, because I don't. I've gotten since this whole
Daryl
thing.
says he's not going to watch it at all.
He's not going to watch it.
He just said not watch it.
Well, that's kind of.
Wow. That's kind of anti-Marvel of you.
Anti-Marvel. I see his DC side is coming out. Man, thank you. I appreciate everybody for joining the show and being a part of the comments. This is we changed our name from Something About Something to Speaking Nerdy, which Ricky has a hard time announcing in the beginning of the show. I almost did it a couple times.
Just really quick, just to remind myself.
Yes.
It's the Speaking Nerdy Podcast. This has been the Speaking Nerdy Podcast. Okay, I'm just practicing.
You got that going? Okay, good.
I got it.
Good. So and then that way we can do our outro, and you'll be able to say it. You would think
we would just record it, so I would never screw it up.
Daryl McCarty says, maybe at home. Okay, that's good. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, is there anything else you want to say? I mean, we're on Facebook, Speaking Nerdy.
I was going to say, do we have all of our links on speakingnerdy.com all updated?
Yeah.
So that all of our social media links work now?
Yeah, I believe so.
So you can find all of our social media links at speakingnerdy.com. And if they don't work, let us know and we'll fix them.
Yeah, we'll fix them.
You can also find us on YouTube, and very shortly we will be an official audio podcast at your favorite audio podcasting
That's right.
source.
You can take us everywhere.
Whatever it is. So if you're not able to watch us live and you would like to listen instead, we try to make...
Yeah, if you don't want to see these ugly mugs and you just want to listen, hey, there you go.
There you go. We do try to make the podcast listener friendly.
Audio friendly.
Audio friendly. Except when we've got videos of monkeys throwing poo.
Yeah. And I think for the audio listening audience, I think that's a benefit for you. I really do. Yeah. So, and also too, if we'll put a link on our group. We also have, that's right, Speaking Nerdy, have our Speaking Nerdy group. So, hey, there you go. Hey, Jerry Dunn says, I listen to y'all all the time. Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. And we're going to try to promote more of our YouTube channel. I'm not saying get away from Facebook. No way, Jose. But what we want is we need some more subscribes on our YouTube channel. We're at 71. And if we can get past 100, guess what? We get our own vanity URL. We can get YouTube/speakingnerdy.com, which means that we own it and no one else can take it from us. So help us out. Help us to help you to help us.
Share with your friends. Yes. Hit that bell, share, hit like, subscribe, whatever the button is that you're supposed to hit, go hit that button.
And if you don't have friends like I do, go to the bus stop, get some homeless people, set them up with YouTube accounts, and then have them subscribe. Just do whatever you can. Go to a senior center, get everybody signed up, subscribe, anything to help us out. I don't care how you do it.
That sounds dangerous.
I think we should end it as that.
I think we should end it with that as well. This has been the Speaking Nerdy podcast with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
And my good friend who actually said the correct title of the show, Mr. Ricky Pope. Nice.
You know how I got it right?
How you got it right?
I read it off the screen.
Good for you.
That was, the name
is
the name is right on the
comes
screen.
Right at you. That's awesome.
So I should just do that from now on.
Hey, we should do it in the whole show in 3D. Have 3D glasses for everybody. That's cool.